The compute crisis. The AI revolution faces a critical bottleneck, a global hardware monopoly that is choking innovation at its source. Centralized titans like AWS and Azure lock high-performance GPUs behind exorbitant walls, picking winners and losers in the race for intelligence. But a decentralized force is emerging within the Bittensor arena to shatter these gates. Enter Nodexo SN27, the incentivized compute layer designed to unleash verifiable GPU power and reward the true architects of the decentralized AI cloud infrastructure. The problem: the GPU paywall. Accessing high-performance compute today is a nightmare of sky-high costs, isolated data silos, and biased central control. If you're not a multi-billion-dollar corporation, you're at the mercy of their availability and pricing whims. For AI to truly thrive in a decentralized world, it demands a robust, trustless foundation that doesn't answer to a boardroom. Nodexo dismantles these barriers by forging a merit-based marketplace where hardware becomes a globally accessible comm. The subnet Nodexo SN27 fix. Nodexo SN27 builds the world's most transparent, incentivized compute layer directly on Bittensor. Miners from across the globe supply raw GPU and CPU resources to the network, while validators enforce 100% uptime and verifiable performance through the UMA consensus and the groundbreaking proof of GPU protocol. Think of it as the decentralized Airbnb for AI compute, a massive, scalable pool of processing power tailored specifically to feed the hungry models of the Bittensor ecosystem. Why it's special. The uniqueness. What makes Nodexo special is its total integration into the Bittensor machine. Unlike generic cloud providers, SN27 is purpose-built to solve the proof-of-work requirements for other subnets. Its uniqueness lies in the cryptographic verification of hardware, meaning you aren't just trusting a provider's word. The network itself proves the GPU is actually running your task. It's the only cloud that provides sovereign compute, where your data never touches a centralized server that can be shut down or censored. Problem: the pizza oven metaphor. Think of AI compute like a giant pizza oven. Right now, only two of you guys, AWS and Google, own all the big ovens. If you want to bake a pizza, you pay their price, follow their rules, and wait in their line. If they decide they don't like your toppings, they shut your oven off. You have no sovereignty, no choice, and no privacy. Solution: the shared kitchen. NodeX0 SN27 turns the world into a shared kitchen. Anyone with a spare oven, a GPU, can plug it into the network. You don't ask for permission, you just connect. The network ensures every oven is hot enough and works perfectly. You get your pizza baked faster, cheaper, and no one can take your toppings away because the kitchen belongs to everyone. Achievements and roadmap. Nodexo has consistently delivered on its promises. From the public MVP in 2024 to the proof of GPU v2 launch that revolutionized hardware scoring, they have proven their technical depth. The roadmap for 2026 is even more aggressive, launching v3 for continuous cryptographic verification and hybrid onboarding for enterprise clusters. This isn't just a project. It's a scalable cloud powerhouse positioning itself to capture a significant slice of the $100 billion AI infrastructure market.
It seems really clear. This is the shift from, an experimental crypto project to a real competitive compute cloud.
Let's unpack that. Let's start with the engine, proof of GPU v3. The documentation is full of terms like rolling, recipe-based, non-interactive. What does that actually mean?
Right. So the easiest way to think about it is, it's like going from a random spot check to a live video feed.
Okay, I like that.
The old way was interactive. You had to wait for a challenge from the network, do the work, send it back. It was kind of a waiting game.
Right, you were on their schedule.
Totally. This new rolling system means miners are just. They're continuously generating these cryptographic proofs in the background. It's a constant stream of evidence.
Which has to be why the speed has jumped so much. I saw validation time is down to, 1 to 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's near instant now. But the speed is really just a side effect of a bigger architectural change.
You mean the whole trust oracle idea?
Exactly.
Yeah.
SN27 is evolving into a trust oracle.
What does that change mechanically?
Well, validators used to just control the payouts, right? They held the purse strings. Now, in this V3 model, they're more like an auditor.
Okay.
They're just watching that stream of proofs and broadcasting a public signal that says, yes, this GPU is real, it's powerful, and it's reliable.
How it works. Proof of GPU. The magic happens through proof of GPU v3. Providers are required to run background tasks that produce cryptographic proofs, proving real hardware execution without sacrificing performance. Validators score these providers continuously on metrics like latency, bandwidth, and total uptime. Because this scoring is non-interactive and near instant, it burns emissions into the most efficient nodes, creating an industrial-grade AI cloud where rewards are tied directly to actual network demand.
So warning of what, up to 2 hours of disruption?
Up to 2 hours, yeah.
Look
And
at
this
that.
is key. All miners and validators have to update immediately.
Right, it's a mandatory update. So let's talk about what's actually in it. Phase 1 is the new core mechanics.
Okay, so POG v3, what is it really?
It's a rolling recipe-based proof system. But, instead of getting lost in the technical jargon, the main takeaway for you is the speed.
The speed.
Yeah, the speed. Compute capability is now validated almost instantly. We're talking 1 to 2 minutes, which is a massive improvement.
Okay, so it gets rid of a lot of that old latency. And then there's a phase 2.
There is. And phase 2 is all about participation. It basically throws the doors open.
So it removes that old UID limited constraint.
Exactly. It adds protocol support to bring on non-registered miners, other compute providers. It's a huge expansion of the supply side.
So if POG v3 is the new engine, that brings us to the vehicle they're building with it, the NodeX0 2.0 vision.
Right. And we should stress this is still in development. It hasn't launched yet.
Good point. But the goal is to be and I'm quoting here, pure GPU compute cloud. Just bare metal and VMs.
It's built on POG v3 and leverages Ethereum for data availability. Recus is so tight. Real hardware, real payments, and publicly verified.
Technical deep dive. At the core of Nodexo is a competitive benchmarking system that ensures miners are always pushing the limits of price performance. By scoring processing power in real time, Nodexo achieves over 40% better efficiency than centralized alternatives like AWS. All off-chain compute is anchored to on-chain proofs for total auditability. Witness the v2.1 dashboard in action. Transparency at every level of the stack.
Welcome back to the deep dive. If you're tracking the decentralized GPU market, and specifically what's happening in the Bittensor SN27 ecosystem, we're cutting through the noise today.
Yeah, we're really just here to distill the most critical update on the new Nodexo platform.
And that's the main event.
Exactly. The whole conversation has shifted. It's not about development anymore. It's about full production stability, especially after the rebrand from Neural Internet.
So let's just confirm that for everyone. The name change is final. Neural Internet is officially Nodexo.
It is. And the platform is now live, fully in production. They even confirmed it was a smooth rollout.
Oh, right. I saw the tweet.
Yeah, they specifically noted that GPU rentals are verified. And that's the huge milestone here, moving from beta to verified stable rentals.
It signals they're ready to scale.
It's the foundation for it, absolutely.
Okay, so that brings us to the platform itself. Version 2.0.0. This feels like more than just a fresh coat of paint. If you're a user, what's the biggest difference?
Well, for renters, it's all about clarity on what is, frankly, a scarce resource.
Right.
The dashboard is.
Right.
It's so much cleaner now. It maps out available GPUs, network stats, all the key metrics. But the real structural change, I think, is on the other side.
The provider side. The people supplying the horsepower to SN27.
Precisely. The financial flow is always key for these networks, and they've made a really impactful update there.
What's that?
A dedicated provider dashboard. So you get clear earnings graphs, machine controls.
Production ready. Show me the money. Is it ready? Yes. NodeX0 is already generating revenue by servicing internal Bittensor subnets that require massive inference power. Active clients include mining cooperatives and developers who need verifiable GPU proofs without the AWS price tag. It's not just making tokens. It's facilitating the actual work of the network, turning raw electricity into the world's most valuable commodity.
And, the way they're doing that is fascinating. The providers themselves are now almost entirely off-chain.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
Well, a provider just installs the Nodexo agent, they register their hardware, take a job from a user, and, this is the critical part, They get paid directly by that user.
So the protocol isn't the middleman for payments anymore.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It basically turns every provider into their own independent operator.
That's a much cleaner model, but it puts a ton of pressure on the verification side of things. If it's all off-chain, how does anyone prove the work is real?
That's the million-dollar question. And the answer seems to be something called Proof of GPU v3.
POGV3.
POGV3. So what is that exactly?
Think of it like the machine's, computational heartbeat. While your main job is running, the agent is also running these tiny deterministic GPU tasks in the background.
And these tasks prove what?
Two things, really. First, that the physical hardware is actually there. And
The giant killers, SN27 versus the world. How does NodeX0 beat AWS or Render? It's about the incentive edge. AWS has massive overhead and central margins. Render is optimized for pictures, not logic. NodeX0 is a lean, mean, verifiable machine. It leverages Bittensor's UMA consensus to prove work at the chip level, giving you 40% more bang for your buck, because there is no corporate tax on your compute.
All right, welcome back to your weekly deep dive. And today we are jumping straight into the next big step for Nodexo.
We really are. We've been tracking this shift for a while, but this feels different.
It does. We're looking at the rollout of Proof of GPU v3 and what they're calling Nodexo 2.0. The big theme here seems to be moving from, experimental to industrial grade.
And I think the key word for today's deep dive has to be trust. In a world where GPUs are gold, how do you actually verify you're getting what you're paying for?
Right. With a centralized cloud, you're just trusting the brand, the logo. But in a decentralized network, you need something more concrete.
You need math. And that seems to be the entire point of this update. They're trying to replace trust me with cryptographic certainty. That's POGV3 in a nutshell.
Okay, so let's unpack that. The docs talk about a rolling, recipe-based, non-interactive proof system. That sounds complicated. What does that actually mean for a provider running a GPU?
Well, think of the old way as being kind of invasive. A validator had to interrupt the GPU's work to check on it. It was slow, it was interactive.
It's a stop and frisk, basically.
Exactly. This new system is more like a heartbeat. The GPU is just constantly and passively generating these proofs while it works. No interruptions.
Subnet Battleground. Why SN27? Within the Bittensor ecosystem, not all compute is created equal. SN04 focuses on manifolds generic cloud, and SN51 handles specialized inference. SN56 is optimized for LLM fine-tuning, while SN64 and SN75 tackle niche storage and edge computing tasks. But SN27 NodeX0 sits at the top of the hierarchy because of its incentivized infrastructure layer. Unlike the others, NodeX0 provides the actual raw hardware-verified GPU power, like H100s, that the entire rest of the ecosystem needs to function. It is the cloud landlord of Bittensor. While others build the apps, NodeX0 owns the high-performance dirt they are built on. This is why SN27 is the backbone play for the long-term investor. The math, pricing, and MC. Let's talk numbers. As of today, NodeX0 is a massive undervalued opportunity with a tiny $2.95 million market cap and a circulating supply of only 17%. At an alpha price of just 69 cents, SN27 is positioned for an asymmetric breakout. When you factor in the 54.61% staking APY, you aren't just holding a token, you're building a high-yield engine in the most critical sector of the Bittensor backbone: returns and future prediction. The math for the beast case is simple. A 5 TAO stake today generates roughly 0.22 TAO monthly in rewards. But if Nodexo captures just 5% of the niche DePIN market, we're looking at a 35x price explosion. At that predicted price, your monthly rewards alone could exceed $2,000. Whether you stake 1 TAO or 50, you are participating in a liquidity sink that grows as the network scales. Don't wait to buy TAO. Buy TAO and wait. The beast bull case. The DePIN sector is surging toward trillions, and Nodexo is the gatekeeper. If SN27 hits a $100 million market cap, a conservative target for a top-tier infrastructure subnet, you are looking at a complete paradigm shift. With the parent TAO token eyeing $5,000, Nodexo is the essential fuel for that explosion. This is more than a subnet. It is the verifiable compute revolution that will power the global AI cloud. With the backing of DCG and Polychain, the institutional squeeze is real. When these VCs start directing their portfolio companies to use SN27 for compute, that $2.95 million market cap will look like a rounding error. We aren't just looking at a 35x. We're looking at the birth of the decentralized AWS. The bear case, reality check. But let's be skeptical. The bear case for NodeX0 is simple: competition and complexity. If big players like IO.net or Akash move into the Bittensor ecosystem with more liquidity, SN27 could face a brain drain. Furthermore, if the proof of GPU v3 has any latency bugs, validators could slash honest miners. This is high-stakes infrastructure. If the plumbing leaks, the whole house gets wet. The architects, team, and backing. NodeX0 is led by DYOR, a veteran architect in the decentralized compute space. While the team remains sovereign and lean, they are backed by the massive gravity of the Bittensor ecosystem itself, which has secured over $200 million in VC funding from titans like Polychain, Digital Currency Group, DCG, and Pantera. This isn't a garage project. It's an institutional-grade play sitting on a multi-billion-dollar foundation. The buy, stake, chill DNA A subnet isn't just a technical layer. It is an individual startup company focused on a specific AI niche. When you stake, you provide the capital that allows these companies to function. Staking here is unique. You are fueling a decentralized workforce and earning from the output of AI. This is why our channel is named Buy, Stake, Chill. You buy the vision, stake to power the infrastructure, and chill while the world's most advanced AI swarm works for you. Thank you for diving into the neural cloud with us. This is not financial advice. Always perform your own research. Invest only what you can afford to lose. But remember that in the new AI economy, the biggest risk is missing the wave of incentivized compute entirely. Our intention is to bring the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity Bittensor TAO directly to your screen. Like, share, and subscribe to Buy, Stake, Chill for more subnet gems.